Check, 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 check. Morning, guys. Hold on 1 second. Getting my levels all dialed in. There we go. So last night, I reached out to our CMO and I said, hey, look, can you send me just a handful of writers for tomorrow? Because Prose is basically the size of a city, the population of a city at this point, and that just, blows our minds, and we're humbled and we're grateful. So thank you for that. It's really cool to see all this talent flooding into the city, right? And but unlike most cities, this one, as it gentrifies or populates, doesn't get weaker by value or ethic. It gets stronger and it gets more creative and more beautiful. And the graffiti is beautiful and the skyline is beautiful. And it's like a living theater of a city. And I just fucking love it. So I wanted to say that. And when I reached out and said, hey, can you just send me some people, because I'm having trouble finding talent to spotlight because there are so many and they're so good. So what do I do? And maybe just for once, give me some direction, just tell me what to do. Give me a job. And so basically, I look at it like this. It's almost like screenwriting, right? Where it's like screenwriting versus novels, right? And I've written screenplays before, and you have so many ideas like stab and pull down, and they're infinite. For a novel, for me, it's different. It's just more finite in a weird way. So I'm getting to that point now with prose where everybody who comes on, the talent is so shining that I have trouble picking one or two or four or five. In this case, 5, 3 new ones and two more seasoned to the site talents. So anyway, I wanted to just run through them with you guys before I read and show you who's who in the city. Let's do this. So these are the 5 talents being featured, and just so you know, I will include the profiles in the show notes. I'll drop in the description so you can go to them and go to the timestamps if you're the writer here or just want to share them with people. And this first one is Feed the Devil. It's from a challenge that just ended. And I think most of these, if not all of these, are from challenges. So you can click on the piece and go see where they were featured in the challenge. But this is Feed the Devil. And I love the Pearl, this staff favorite, and one of our Discord stars. And I'm warning you, if you go to our Discord, you get sucked in. You might not get out for a few hours. But this is a really strong piece. And this one is by Yun P. I don't know how to say your name, but this is To Light the Fire. Yun P is new and this is short and sweet. I like this piece. So this is Gentleman Bastard. And I never met this guy, never talked to him, but I get a really good vibe off this dude. I like this guy. This is called Thinking from a Challenge. And I think this is somebody that would be fun to get a beer with, raise some hell with. And this one is The Bottle by 7v7. One of my favorite portals, Stream of Consciousness. What can I say about this writer? I like everything this writer does, and this is a really, really cool piece. And it's from a challenge that says, what's the one thing you eventually accepted in life that you struggled to accept in the past? And that's a really cool challenge, by the way. Okay, and this is T.F. Burke. T.F. Burke is brand spanking new himself, and this piece is it's beautiful. And I'm excited to read this too. So, let's get into this. I'd feed it to the debt, to the beast that sits sullenly on my chest, to the monster grinding me to ash, to the freedom that never existed, just another dime, just another dollar, just another thing to add to my dusty, useless collection. I'd buy back my soul from the corporate devil. I'd laugh in the Joneses' faces as I sold off every last scrap of garbage cluttering the nooks and crannies of my life. And if there was anything left, I'd buy that little cabin in the woods. I'd sit in the solitude of escaping the race of rats. I'd breathe in the important, the little laughs, the mud between the toes, the growing people, growing things marching in the whisper of quiet days gone by. I'd swallow down gulps of the essence of life until I was bursting full, ready to wither in silent contentment. But who am I kidding? A windfall doesn't do much when you need a hurricane. I'd feed it to the monster, the corporate devil, the debt, and when I had, it'd still be hungry for more. Words of the living, lifeless, dead, limp, unaware, cold as the black ink, sparks lit by virtue, flamed fanned by the abstract eye, embers burn with light. Are we not the wind, soft as spring breeze, bringing life, pen, keyboard, alive, awake? When I think of my two roads diverged in the woods, I can't remember the condition of the road I took, nor can I remember the condition of the one not chosen. Although I can remember different roads I've taken, I cannot for the life of me remember the scenery. And now I'm older and have lost almost everything I ever loved in my life. And now I realize that even though the directions I've taken have dictated where I sit today, the most important part of my journey was the scenery. In that forgotten scenery, they still live. There's still time. There's still hope. Those turns I've made, the hope and time I've lost on the road here. Although I remember many turns, I can't remember the beautiful things I lost along the way. The scenery of the past, when the greatest things I've known were in the background. I wish I, too, was in the background with them now. I am still struggling to accept I accept nothing less. Dissatisfaction, proof and vintage, undrunken stupor. Beneath the cork, I grow older, I grow older, I grow older, I grow older. I'll be drunk, and for 10 cents someone will redeem me, empty. Nightmares of nihilistic vision, realistic intentions, industrial inventions spewing venom and unnatural dissension. Surrealistic impressions of aesthetically pleasing visuals, skin and imperfection, colloidal confusion, implicitly explicit. Imagery reborn and reformed to be suitable, unusable propaganda, unusual methods of delivery, pouring down and mixing indecision, stealing your intelligence for what's relevant. Benevolent or malevolent is no longer exclusive to the elusive abuse of we the people, and profit we trust, thrust upon us with no way to refuse or reuse.